Hello everybody. So this is my object. It is a boat carving, and it came with the description, a rare reliquary carved boat with reclining full figure of a male with a painted head, other painted heads at bow and stern, and there's some more information about it underneath that. So I started by consulting collections at the Met and at the British Museum, and I also looked at some books in the Mount Holyoke Library, and I was unable to find anything that really resembled the object. I found some other carvings and I found some other boats, but nothing that was quite what I was looking at. So initially what I was thinking is that I would look into the donor file. The donor was Marion Hayes, and when we were in the archives, I looked at her file and I saw that there was record of her. She appraised this object and then later donated it to the museum, and it was also in the museum's file. So I was thinking I would go back to the archives and that would kind of give me the trail to where this object had come from, but obviously I wasn't able to get back to the archives, so I started rerouting and thinking about what I wanted to do with this object. So I was thinking about when I met my object, and one of the first things I noticed was how obviously hand carved it had been. You can see that on the right. I think it wasn't something that I could notice online. You can really see where the tool has chiseled away at the wood. And so that was just interesting to me. And then the other thing I noticed is on the left on the figure, a very pronounced penis, which I was surprised that I hadn't noticed online. But then kind of at the same time, looking at the chest area, something that I thought might be breasts. And so I was wondering if this figure was potentially an androgynous figure, and what that would mean. And I wanted to look into that, but then also looking at that chest area, there's a little bit of markings on the shoulders. So I was thinking potentially that is some kind of armor or clothing or something that can be worn. So I thought I would look into that too. So it was in researching this chest area that I came across this ritual called crocodile scarification. It's a male initiation ritual, and it is a process of cutting the skin to create scars that resemble a crocodile. And I'll kind of spare the more gruesome details, but also there's a lot of like news media reporting on this that makes it very like exotic, and very, it's just offensive. But I think that knowing this, and I think it's very clear that that's what is on my figure as well, will be able to help us locate this object. It is not just one tribe in the Sepik River area that does this, but I think it is not everyone also. So this can narrow down area a little bit. I also really just haven't had the time or the resources to kind of narrow down what tribe specifically this comes from, but I think that's a good place for me to leave it. I hope that someone else will be able to kind of take up the mantle on this object eventually, and start going down that path and look into that, because I think it could be really fruitful and really interesting. So thank you for listening.